If you're a caregiver and you think you don't need help, you're wrong. If you haven't watched before, my name is Dr. Nicole Delegate. I'm a geriatrician internist, board certified in both of those specialties, and I've worked in the field of geriatrics for over 20 years. Here on The Wrinkle, I like to give you information that you can use to age well and fearlessly, or to help somebody else to do that. In this video, I want to talk about asking for help, and this is directed at care partners or caregivers. I want you to know that it's okay to get help, and I want to give you some tools to be able to do that in a way that you're comfortable. When I'm talking about getting help, this might mean allowing family members to help or getting some professional help. So keep that in mind as we go through these 4 common myths that will often detract people from getting the help that they need. Your reasons might be different, and I'm not saying these aren't legitimate reasons, but I'm just going to give you a different way to look at them. So it might make it easier for you to accept help. And I want you to accept help because I need you to know that ultimately accepting help is a way of helping the person that you're caring for. Let that sink in. It's not selfish when you take time for yourself to do some of that self-care and self-love. It's actually showing compassion to the person that you're caring for. If you're not healthy enough to look after them, then who's going to do it? You won't be there. We know that from science as well. We know that caregivers have a higher risk of some medical conditions and a higher risk of dying if they are not properly supported. So let's talk about some common reasons why people don't want to hire help or even ask for help. One reason is they don't want their privacy to be compromised. And I understand that. I love my own little space where I can just hang out with my family and let my hair down and do my thing. If that's you, then you probably really don't like the thought of somebody coming into your home for any reason, even if it's to help you. I want you to know that the people that you might hire or that might be provided by the government or by your insurance to come in and do some helping, they're professionals. So they're not just coming in. You don't have to entertain them. You don't have to be one of those people who cleans their house before the cleaner comes in. You don't even have to be there while they are there. They're professionals and they're trained to do their jobs unobtrusively. If they're not, then maybe that's not the right professional for you. But, it might have less of an impact on your privacy than you think. But it is a trade-off. So a lot of the things that we're going to talk about in asking for help is a trade-off. It is a compromise on your part. But I'm hoping in this video I can share some information after my 20 years of working with people who are living with dementia and other care needs and their caregivers. And I hope this information will be helpful for you. I find that when people are able to make that trade-off of privacy for some help, that oftentimes they're rejuvenated and it can be less invasive than they thought it was going to be. The benefit can outweigh the downside. Another reason why people don't ask for help or don't seek getting a professional to come in is they're concerned about the cost. And that's a real concern. Private care can add up pretty quickly, but again, it might be a trade-off. So you might be able to save money if you get the right kind of help at the right time. If you get help in your home, you might not need to move out of your home and have the added expense of all of that. So no matter where you move, you're going to have to spend money. And sometimes if you look at the cost of getting help at home versus a move, you'll see that it does even out and the cost tends to balance out. And remember, you don't need to get paid help necessarily. So there might be people in your own neighborhood or building or family who could help out and wouldn't expect to be paid in a traditional way. You might even be able to trade some of your skills for some of the things that you need in terms of help. So maybe somebody could shovel the driveway for you and you could bake them something, or just impart some of your wisdom, or give them something that they might want from your home that you were thinking of getting rid of anyway. Be creative. There are lots of ways to exchange goods and services that don't always involve paying money that you might not have, and I understand. In most jurisdictions as well, there are services that are paid for through insurance or through government insurance if you're Canadian, where my practice is. And a lot of times people don't know that. It's often worth finding out what you do qualify for in terms of home care that might already be paid for. And that can really take the pressure off if you know that it's provided as part of your insurance and you don't have to pay out of pocket for it. Don't automatically think that the expense of getting help at home is a reason to not get it. Many people don't want to ask for help because they don't think that they need it. There are things that they can do, so why wouldn't they just do it? And I'd like you to reframe that a little bit. So maybe you can administer the medications, and you can sweep the floor, and you can make the beds. You can also make all the meals and do all the dishes. You're capable of doing those things. But at what expense? To you and the person you're caring for. I think that if you delegate some of those tasks that you could do, but so could someone else, then you could focus on the things that only you can do. You're the only one who can be the wife or the husband. You're the only one who can be the lifelong partner. You're the only one who can do those things that a wife or husband or partner would do. You can't delegate that. And if you're too tired from doing the dishes and sweeping the floor, then you won't have the energy left over to be the wife. And there's nobody else who can. And that's important because the person you're caring for needs that person in their life. They need their son or their daughter. They need their grandkid. They need their partner. So if you can delegate something to somebody else that they can do, that'll spare your energy to do the things that only you can do. And the final thing is that when you have that energy to look after the person you're caring for, you might also have some energy to look after yourself. There's a lot of talk about self-care and self-love, and that's kind of what the theme is here on The Wrinkle for this month of February. But it's really true. If you don't look after yourself, you won't have anything left over to be a caregiver. And that might be as simple as making time to get your teeth cleaned, or to go shopping, or getting a good night's sleep. All of those things will restore you and allow you to keep caring a little bit better and a little bit longer. Again, it's not selfish to do the self-care and the self-love. Show yourself some compassion. It's a way of showing compassion to the person you're caring for also. They need you. They need you. And you have to look after you. I hope that all of those things make sense. And I know it's not easy to find somebody to help. Sometimes we need help with things that don't really fit into a traditional kind of role, like a nurse or a PSW. We might need help with other things, and it might require some creativity to find those helpers. But if you don't look for them, and if you're not open to them, you surely won't find them. So maybe part of it is changing your mindset first, and then doing the practical steps to get the help that you need. I know that it's hard during COVID as well. A lot of people are understandably concerned about bringing another person into their home, and that person might bring in an infection. Before you get a new helper, it is a really good idea to ask about how they use infection control precautions and what else you can do to make it as safe of an interaction as possible. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it so much, and I hope that you'll stick around and watch some other videos. We have some really cool stuff happening this month of February where we're talking about self-love. If you're watching this and it's not February, then we have a lot of other great videos as well for caregivers and just for people who are getting older. Feel welcome to take a look at the video that YouTube is suggesting for you on the screen right now. I'd love it if you would subscribe. That way you can also hit the notification bell and you can find out whenever I'm releasing a new video. I do 3 videos a week, 2 short ones and one longer one like this one. I'd also love it if you would go to my website, which is thewrinkle.ca. And I'm also on Twitter and Facebook. You can leave a comment on any one of those platforms or on my website. And at my website, you can sign up for my newsletter as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time on The Wrinkle.